Hello there. You're looking well. Are you
Thank
well?
you.
I
I
hope
am
you're
very
well.
well.
Good, good.
I am just actually, this is kind of funny, but there we are. I just lost the Zoom link for a second. I'm actually, for our next guest, I'm wearing one of her pieces,
Oh,
which is a tribute to Ukraine. We are going to be joined this morning by what I can only describe as an energizer bunny of a woman. Her name is Tonya Dickenson. Oh, no, she is.
takes
She's
one to
something
know
else.
one, my dear.
Well, I was
Yes.
going to say, sometimes she makes me appear slow. I met Tonya in 2023. I worked with the Ukrainian Canadian Congress, Quebecois artist Michel Langlois, and pianist Matt Herkowitz, along with the Montreal Art Centre Museum, to do a fundraiser vernissage for this organization called Unbroken. It's in Yvan in Ukraine, and they provide medical treatment for victims of war, whether they're civilian or soldiers. And one of the first people I met when I went in was this jeweler. I'd never met her before. I didn't realize, how famous she was, and her trademark of sustainable fashion, and also her commitment to many different charities. Her name is Tonya Dickenson. After that, we met again because she created a piece for the Solange Irish Society Woman of the Year in 2024, and then last year, we had a golf tournament with the Ukrainian Canadian Congress and the Sensei to raise funds for the Canadian Forces veterans and for Ukrainian victims of war. She's just everywhere. She's extraordinary. And I think I should stop talking and let her come in because she
Okay.
has all sorts of good stuff to talk about.
Okay. Let me just get my screen open here. She's waiting for us.
She's award winning.
I'm just going to turn this down. Can you hear me?
Yes,
We
we can.
can.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, Yvan. Je te parle en français ou en anglais, ou les deux?
Comme vous voulez. D'habitude, on le fait ça en anglais, mais
Non. Juste pour te dire allô.
oh, vous êtes bien gentil, Tonya. Merci.
Okay.
Merci.
Okay.
Era, please.
Well, as I said, I met Tonya back in 2023, though, to be really honest. We've seen each other at a lot of events, including the Salon des Femmes. I was really fascinated by her. She's the daughter of a diplomat, and when she was young, traveling with her father, she fell in love with beads and beadwork. And this has been a passion of hers for years. She's been collecting and collecting. And she was in pharma for many years. And then she decided, I think was it at the beginning of Zoom, Tonya, or sorry, COVID?
The pandemic?
Yeah,
Well, it was actually 1 year in. So have we started taping or?
Oh, yes,
Yep,
we are.
yes, we are.
We're off and
Okay.
running here. We're
Okay,
looking
wow.
at your website too, Tonya, while you're speaking.
Yes. So during the pandemic, I actually, coming from pharma, I knew that we had to wait for the vaccine. So I launched an organization that produced 80,000 masks for free, reusable masks for all across North America, and that made me the confidence to say, I didn't think I could be an entrepreneur. If I could be an entrepreneur in total lockdown, with no stores open, no resources, no headcounts, no nothing, then what could I do, if I had a plan and time and strategy? And that's when I looked at Era, you're right, my huge collection, 45 years of collecting beads, antique and vintage beads from all across the world.
And Asymmetric is the name of the company, yes?
Asymmetric by design.
Asymmetric by design. Okay,
Yes.
not asymmetric, excuse me.
Oh, no. No problem.
There's an old joke in there somewhere.
I'm sure.
And what came first, the jewelry business, or, you're surrounded by your creations there where we see you.
Yes. So what do you mean what came first?
Did you start a business first, or did this come along while you were traveling and living elsewhere? You've lived in 11 countries, according to my notes?
Exactly. You're exactly right. So no, I would always design for myself, but then have somebody do the class thing. But as you can guess, I only have one neck, and there's only 365 days in a year. And there's only so much a woman can have. Exactly. You're wearing one of our Ukrainian ones, benefit
Yes.
collections. But also during the pandemic, there was, nowhere to go, but also there was a lot of Zoom. So this is a real estate that women do not use very much or very wisely. Men often have used it more, better. So this we can make actually a stand and take a quiet activism. So this, if you look at this, this is never a 51st state. So this is
Okay, and we're off and running, ladies and
yes,
gentlemen.
yes, and
Yowza.
especially these days, we continuously get threats from our friends to the south, and it's paws off Greenland, paws off Canada. So this is a brand that really stands for sovereignty and human rights, whether that's diversity and inclusion, whether that's peace, all of that. And so, yes.
Well, you started your Ukraine collection was your first sort of. I won't say it wasn't. It was peace motivated to be able to help. I won't say politically motivated, but I know you're also, I think, half Ukrainian as well, and of course a very beautiful jewelry collection. You can see here the clear beads and the blue and yellow. But you've also done other collections as well, which your Elbows Up Canada collection, I'm going to call it. I know it's not that, but it's really beautiful. She actually takes maple leaves, Yvan, and then paints them with real gold leaf.
Oh,
And
yes.
they're just absolutely
I
gorgeous.
think, is that what we see on the
Yes.
on the
So
on
you
the
can
main
see,
photograph here? Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
you can see them. Really, they're we have three different colors. In here, you only see two, but they're electroplated, either silver, gold, or copper. Actually, I don't do the electroplating. This is the only thing I actually buy. But these take 3 months to actually make. So they choose the leaf, they make sure there's no holes, they peel off the exterior layers, they dry them for 3 months, then electroplate them. So these are true maple leaves, and there's nothing that represents Canada more than a maple leaf. And so this is, I think, beautiful activism, quiet activism, but very determined
Absolutely.
activism. And
Absolutely.
Canadians, we love to wear our flag. Americans often tend to wear our flag on their backpacks, but I like to wear mine here.
Okay, let's look at some photographs.
Yes.
Where were you born, Tonya?
So actually, I was born in Ottawa. My parents had just had just entered this foreign service, and a year later we left Ottawa. And this picture was actually taken in 1978 or 79. We spent 2 years in Cairo, Egypt, between the ages of 10 and 12, and this was formidable years and
Wow.
one of my
That must have
favorite
been quite
countries.
the experience. At that age, that's outstanding.
Yes, especially actually, we had come back to Ottawa, and going from Ottawa to Cairo with the sounds and the smells, and the garbage trucks were actually donkeys with carts. So the culture shock was quite
I can
amazing.
just imagine. Yes.
Yes, yes.
And this is part of the jewelry making process, is it?
It's part of the jewelry making and jewelry collecting process. So whenever I go, wherever I go, I'm looking for, unique pieces, ideally that I've never seen. So this is in Morocco, and I'm wearing one of my designs, but these are some of the purchases I made while there. So for me, these are true time capsules of history, customs, and craftsmanship that we don't have anymore. So I don't want that to be lost. I want that to be reimagined so we can wear them again. And Yvan, I don't know, I think Erin knows, but jewelry has existed for 150,000 years. So, and there's over 500,000 tons of dormant jewelry. Yet we're mining, destroying the planet for more. And for me, that makes no sense.
Okay. This is
So this is,
Okay.
yes, go ahead.
Please continue. No, I was wondering what it
No,
was.
okay.
I'm looking at the UN, United
Yes,
Nations symbol there. Yes.
yes. So I'm always trying to promote anything that is United Nations, anything that is human rights. So this was a challenge of the different chefs from the embassies in Ottawa. My mom actually is a cookbook author and was a chef, and my father was a Canadian ambassador. So I really like to encourage that, and it's a beautiful positive competition, and the sales from the tickets all go to food banks in Ottawa, which also is a very good cause. So
OK. Et tu parles anglais, français, ukrainien aussi?
malheureusement non.
Non?
Non, I'm a third generation Ukrainian. Ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch. Ich könnte ganz gut Deutsch sprechen.
OK. I knew something else was coming down the line there. OK. Yeah.
And
All right. Yeah.
I can say a few words in
Yeah.
Arabic.
And the rest of us all look like we're standing still. OK. Thank you. Good night. And that's the Asymmetric by Design is the name of the company. Of course, we were talking
Yes.
about that just a second. Here's another collection of items.
Yes. So this is just showing you that really semi-precious jewelry is easily upcyclable, repairable, transformable, reimaginable by anybody, really. Because if you think of maybe even you, Yvan, when you were in, or when we all were in daycare or in kindergarten, the first gift to our mother most likely was a pasta necklace or bracelet, or
Oh
something made of
no!
wood.
My first gift to my mother was strife. That's the
I
first
don't believe
gift I
that one
gave her.
minute.
Yeah.
So we are all able to shred something. A needle for me is difficult, but we're all able to shred something. And so it's really imparting on people that, look at what you have in your drawers and reimagine it into something beautiful. It could be your grandmother's pearl necklace that may be outdated or is broken or too long or too short. And you can just redesign it.
Now, I know nothing about these things, but these as you used the word statement earlier, these make a statement. They are bold pieces, are they not, Era? Is that the
Oh,
way you
yes.
see it too?
Well,
Yeah.
they're incredible. I'm going to get her to describe the pieces, but she talks about upcycling. One of the wonderful things about Tonya's jewelry is that there's instead of mining for gems and jewelry and creating more carbon for atmosphere and waste of water, going to countries, buying beads. A lot of her jewelry is really amazing because it's not just beads. She had a piece at Salon de Femme last year which had an old snuff box on it. Like, it's just, they are a statement and really original pieces. What are those white beads there? Are those the ones from Japan or China or?
So these are, you're right, Era, and thank you very much for that kind compliment. These are old bone pieces, carved Buddhas from China. So they're very old. I don't know exactly how old, but over 100 years old. So here I'm combining different pieces from all over the world. So you have wood from Africa. That's carved wood. So this is basically all mostly carved pieces. The silver pieces are pure silver, again, over 100 years old, antique, stamped. These are sterling silver from Yemen. So the Yemenis were, especially in Sana'a, were really incredible silversmiths. This obviously with the wars and obviously, has disappeared. So again, I want to try and revive these incredible heirlooms. And then the stones are mainly from South America. And the top beads on the top are actually antique beads from Afghanistan. So I'm trying to support families in Afghanistan, especially the women who now have almost no means of income because everything's shut for them. They can't even go to school. So again, trying to uplift people in the developing world, especially women.
What does impact tracked at the bead level mean?
Very good question. So I'm a mathematician, and I also believe that what gets measured gets done. And so one of the key differentiators of asymmetric by design versus anybody else, there are a few, but one of the main ones is that we hired Oxia Initiative, which is an ESG tracking company and certifying company in France, to make us a model at the bead level. So if you use antique carved wood versus new carved wood, how much carbon are you not emitting, and how much water are you saving? Because often people think of carbon only, but as humans, you know what? We need water to survive. I think it's 3 days and we don't survive. So that's a key. So we provide those data points per necklace. So these are at an individual necklace.
Okay, interesting. Now, what do we
What
have
really
here? Sorry,
impresses me,
please continue.
I apologize, what really
No.
impresses me is when I met Tonya in 2023, it was just, you had started in 2020, so it was fairly early on into your career. And all of a sudden, she's being nominated for fashion prizes and sustainability awards. And for someone who just started recently, she's really captured the imagination of a lot of I won't say fashionista because that sounds sort of like snobby, but it's not. It's like people who like fashion, and people really appreciate her work. When I was with her at Salon des Femmes, it of course was all women, and there were people from all over the world. There was fabric, there was jewelry, there was hats, there was braids, and she quickly captured the attention, in particular, Montreal Fashion Week. And Tonya, I'll let you move on with that.
Yes. No, I was, thank you, Era. I was very excited because I applied for, or I call Fashion Week, Mode, as it's called in Montreal, to find out how could I apply to participate, and thinking that this would be a 2-3 year process. And they were so excited because I had nobody in this circular environment, in this upcycling environment in terms of jewelry, and that's what they were looking for. And the first year, I think you showed a few slides ago, I participated, and I was a finalist for the highest award, so the Coup de Cœur du Président. And every year since, I've been nominated. This year, I was a finalist in 3 categories. So I'm very, very, very proud. And this year, as you mentioned, I earned a hat trick of top women globally for sustainability, top 25 emerging entrepreneurs of Quebec, and that's a first for fashion.
Wow. Are these people on this slide offspring by any chance? They are?
Yes, they are. They're 2 of my 3 children. So they came with me to the gala this September. And so, yeah, this is the hat trick I won this year. So honestly, this year was a big year for us. And but I think I have the right product at the right time. People are more and more interested in vintage. People are more conscious of the planet, also budgets. And so no, I think it's the right product at the right time.
And here's a look at the maple leaves again.
I
believe.
love these. They are so beautiful.
Yeah. So this is my. I had 2 collections this year. Sometimes they are inspired. The collections often are inspired by what's happening in the world. Since I am a news junkie, less and less so, because honestly, I'm trying to protect my mental health. I think a lot of us are. Because to read the news on an ongoing basis is quite depressing. So I try to twice a day, go survey everything. And I love actually CBC News. And so this is the collection before was Never 51st State, a response to the threats from our friends in the South. So.
And this
is Ukraine.
This is Ukraine. So this is a benefit collection that's still ongoing, but I've expanded it to beads of peace because there's more conflicts that have arisen since then. So at the time, Era had mentioned I'm 50% pure Ukrainian, 50% Irish. but third generation.
There's a combination for you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
Wow.
it's a very calm.
Yeah. Don't. It's what's Ukrainian for "Don't get in my way."
I don't know, but I think
Okay.
Irish are as
I'll look
that.
it up. Yeah.
So no,
Okay.
it's not a. We're very. I guess I'm very passionate, to say the least. And so here I was playing really with the colors of the flag of Ukraine. So it's difficult, or it's a challenge for me, Yvonne, to how do I explain something only using the power of beads? Because I'm not a painter, so I can't mix colors and add texture. So I have to add that texture and find the colors, but only using the power of the bead. And so here again, I try to do it very elegantly and sophisticatedly. So the blue is for the sky, and the yellow are the fields of sunflowers. And so you see the different images of the necklaces. I'm playing again with the image of blue, or the contrast of blue and yellow.
Right.
And then we're the one in the middle is you are our stars. So they are really truly the defenders of democracy, especially at that time. And the courage of the Ukrainians, honestly, fighting
is beyond anything I've ever seen.
No, exactly. Sure. No.
And who's this guy here? Who's this guy?
Tim,
yes.
The wonderful Tim Fleischer. Tim Fleischer is the head of the Concussion Legacy Foundation. And when we were doing our fundraiser with UCC, Ukrainian Canadian Congress, and the Santé the Trail, the Canadian Forces, Tonya showed up, and quickly, Tim is actually a 4-time Grey Cup champion with 4 different teams. And when these two powerhouses met, it was amazing.
Yeah, we clicked right away. But no, it's so I love to support causes that are very dear to me. So professionally on Asymmetric by Design, we will support anything touching Ukraine and anything women or environment. So those are sort of our pillars. And personally, I'm a big champion of mental health initiatives. So
Okay.
we have to choose what we support, because obviously we could support everything.
Right.
But then if we support everything, then it's a little bit meaningless, or it's less meaningful. But honestly, supporting Ukraine as a 50% pure Ukrainian and as an attack on somebody's sovereignty, I felt very strongly about that. So this was another fundraiser for Ukraine held at the Montreal Art Center and Museum with Era and Sterling. And this is actually how I met Era, is our passion for supporting Ukraine.
Okay. And the other two people, the gentleman are?
That's the owner of, that's to the left of me there, is the owner of the Art Center and Museum, a very passionate man. The museum is actually an old foundry in Griffintown. It's a Harry Potter building. It has stairs that lead up to nowhere. And that's also where Tonya has her studio.
Yes.
And there is a wonderful city councillor, Sterling Downey, who's very much involved with the Canadian Forces. In fact, at 50 years old last year, he became a member of the Black Watch.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's amazing people doing incredible things, even in your second chapter or third chapter of your life. So here again is the benefit collection. So 20% of sales went to Unbroken Ukraine, and she was going to bring the money actually to Ukraine and to the troops there. So I love this flag. And so we all signed messages of encouragement and hope. And honestly, I would have thought that it would have been over by now. And I can't believe it's still going on.
And you got to meet Jane Goodall.
Yes. So I was fortunate. I've met her a few times, starting in Abu Dhabi, where I lived. She has this Roots and Shoots, and my daughter participated. So I met her a few times there. And then when she came to Canada, I've been doing benefit collections for her auction for a fundraiser, both in last year and this year, or the last 2 years. And I was just actually on the call with the foundation, and yeah, I'm very privileged to have met her a few times in my life.
And that necklace that you made was a replica of, well, it sort of paid homage to a necklace she wears all the time.
Yes. So you're going to see here. So this is an homage to the pendant she often wears. And what I have is, again, asymmetric and it's antique. So I always take it. And this was the highest bid item. I think there were 17 bids on this one. And if you look at the next picture, this is her second pendant she wears all the time. And last year I made a necklace with that specific pendant. Yeah, she's a great woman, and really always supporting diversity. And when I was actually, I had the privilege of hiking with the gorillas in Rwanda and Uganda. So these are Dian Fossey's gorillas. You could really hear humans encroaching on the gorillas. And it really impressed upon me that we have to learn how to live or coexist. And so that both the humans thrive and the animals thrive. And this is what she's always tried to do. And so we support that.
Okay. And there's one last one here.
Yeah, so this was a couple of years ago, and you see I'm wearing a necklace that is the colors of the Iranian flag, and the coral is to impart the blood being shed. And unfortunately, I sent you this again because we're seeing that again. This is a huge issue. I don't know exactly it's very difficult to get anything out of Iran right now. They're talking about 12 to 20,000 killed. And, I just want to impart on everybody that we do have power. And we have the power in our voices. We have the power to call our politicians. We have the power in our votes. We have the power in, what we buy and purchase. And we cannot stay silent. For me, silent is being complicit. And so I just want to leave people with a message of hope that we can make a difference, even if it's very small. It has ripple effects around the world. And there are a few issues going on in the world, including climate change. And I believe that we can tackle them. But we need.
There's a fact about you that you had in your bio about how I never realized that fashion is the world's third largest polluting industry.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Which makes me. That's terrible.
It's terrible, and I'm not focused on clothing, but I forgot the millions of tons of clothing that we just get rid of every year, and it's shocking. So we really need to think and buy better, buy less, repair. I love the 7 R's, and what I love about my brand and what I'm trying to promote is also the education of the circular economy. Right now, circular economy, that means that you can redo. So this you can continuously cut, redo, repurpose. So it is fully circular, so no end of life. Only 6.9% of what we produce is circular. So that means it's one-time use. Sometimes it could be very long, like a house, but eventually it will crumble, maybe after 1,000 years or whatever. Or you have a paper straw that's single use, and that will be 10 minutes, an hour. So we really need to think more and more when we purchase. And this again goes back to the power we have in thinking about the environment and who we're purchasing from. I'm very proud that that there's some products that we are not bringing into Canada from the United States. And that takes a stand. So these are all things that we can do.
As things get hairy around the world, people tend to sort of turn inward Are you finding it more difficult to motivate people these days?
Uh, no, I think like my this collection, every 51st state, was
What
shown.
kind of response did you get to that?
Excellent response. And the, for me, also a measurement is CTV ran a clip. I think it was over a minute, and it was rebroadcast nationally over 5 times. 5 times I know of, because it really resonated with people, that Canadians that know, we are not up for grabs. And I think people are looking for hope and optimism. For me, creating is very therapeutic. When I'm creating a necklace, I can't be thinking of what's going on in the world or the leader of the South. I'm really focused, and people see that, and people see me doing something, and that inspires them to do something. It inspires them to buy some jewelry, or to take a stand, or to walk in a rally. Always very, very peaceful. Everything I do is very peaceful and very respectful. But no, I think it's inspiring to a lot of people. I have a lot of following on LinkedIn. Today is Martin Luther King Day, so I actually put a post up on that. And
Yes, and how sad things have become in the United States on this
But
MLK Day, right?
but you know what I really like, and I say this quite often. I spend a lot of time in social media, and uh, usually a lot of my followers are people. Well, I don't even call them followers because it sounds rather egotistical. But a lot of people I'm connected to are people in the broadcasting industry, or in the arts industry, or in the volunteer industry. And Tonya is a really good example of, instead of yelling at people, she does things. She works with an organization called Dress for Success, which I was really happy to contribute to. When I stopped doing TV, I had all this clothing, and it was just like, oh my God, like, what am I going to do with this? And so I think what she does, and what I try to do, but I've seen her give so many examples. She volunteers a lot, and I like to say you can't change the world, but you can change the world that is close to you. And I think that's what Tanya is doing.
yeah, no, we all have agency, and it's just finding, what fits with us, what we're comfortable doing, what we love and are passionate, and taking action. And a lot of my friends are Iranian, so they're doing a lot of things for Iran. So it's really picking something and trying to make an impact. Um, I read something somewhere that every action we take every single day has a positive or negative impact on the environment or on society. And that's really, it's like, oh, wow, yes, true. It's true. And
Oh,
so I try to do more positive than negative.
11 countries, Tanya.
Yes.
This is going to be probably unfair as a question, but
Okay.
which countries impressed you the most? Obviously, when you were younger, very young, and Dad said, we're moving to Cairo. I mean, obviously, that's something that impressed you at first, but um, I presume all 11 nations have left their traces, their mark?
Yes and no, because a lot of them I was too young.
Okay.
So actually, I did speak perfect Russian for a 2-year-old. So the 2-year-old vocabulary, but I lost all that. And I'm not going to set foot in Russia.
Hmm.
So, from Belgium, I learned to speak French, and I went to French school. So as a Canadian, as an English Canadian, I was very fortunate then to become perfectly bilingual, which is, I think it's very important for Canadians, especially living in Montreal. Egypt opened my heart in terms of people that had nothing were so happy. Uh, Children wouldn't go to school, to recycle things. And so Egypt opened my eyes in terms of some people recycled everything, and it's like, wow. And this is in 78. This is not like recent. Um, the living in the UAE and actually working in the UAE, I actually spent 7 years there, so a long time. I realized that the world isn't all black and white. Um, I've seen a lot of arranged marriages that work very well, and here love marriages don't always work well. So, who am I to judge? So different things like that, and that they really it's incredible what they're very wealthy. Yes, as of the 1960s, 70s, they came across oil. But the leaders didn't squander it. They, built universities. They built healthcare. They built the best in the world. And so, gave me a good example of, you know, if leaders don't take everything for themselves, and I think we're seeing more and more oligarchs and more, I don't know what you want to call in the US, but in the UAE.
No, it's pretty well it. That's what we got. Yeah. Hmm.
In the UAE, I'm not saying that the royals don't have a lot of money, for sure they do, but you have NYU free for the locals. You have La Sorbonne. You have these incredible hospitals. It's just incredible. I've learned to see the world in different shades of gray, and there's not always one perfect way. And actually, controversial maybe, Yvan. So this is my opinion only, is that democracy doesn't always lead to the perfect result or the best result for everybody. And I can think of two recent events, and I think everybody can figure those out. So yes. So I've changed my way of thinking. Yeah. And some countries aren't ready for democracy, especially if there's been a vacuum in a totalitarian regime, and where the other politicians have all been killed or imprisoned. You can't go from one to the other. There needs to be a progression, to develop the politicians, to educate the population on voting rights. So I've learned a lot of things throughout my travels.
But your native land is still your native land.
Oh, definitely. And I'm so proud of being Canadian. And honestly, reading the news and seeing what's happened over the last year, I can proudly say I've never been prouder of being Canadian. And every day I have more reason of being proud to be Canadian. And I think, we will, I hope we will have greater leadership in the world in the years to come. We have an opportunity to really step up. And I hope we do. I'm trying to, for sure.
Indeed. Thank you very much for joining us today. This has been very interesting.
Thank you so much, too.
And good luck with there must be other projects in the works, yeah. I'm sure.
She does a lot of local stuff too, like Dress for Success, and she's very active.
Well, tell me quickly about what Dress for Success is, please, Era.
Okay.
Oh, well, I'll throw that over to Tonya, but it's getting people to donate clothing to women who are maybe going back to the workforce, who have been
right, okay. Okay, yes.
I'll let you do that.
Yeah. So Dress for Success often partners with La Fondation Lise Wattier. So there's a whole training program, and it's to enable women to become financially independent. So they have a whole program of courses. And when they're ready to go for an interview, then these women come to us to Dress for Success. I'm a volunteer stylist there. And so we style them so that they're ready to go and they have the appropriate clothing, but also we give them that boost of confidence. So when they step out of Dress for Success, they truly feel like $1 million. They look like $1 million. They walk like $1 million. They feel like $1 million. And as soon as they have that job, then they come back for, again, 3 complete new outfits. It could be also a winter coat, winter boots, depending on the season. So it's a wonderful initiative. Everything is pro bono. No, I just love it because we're all about empowering women and protecting the planet. And they're a wonderful organization.
Well, bully for you. Kudos.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so much for joining us.
It was my pleasure.
And good luck and break a leg with the new projects.
Thank you so much. Okay. And never a 51st state.
Yes,
we got
ma'am.
that one loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye.